Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to a video on how to make a yacht. So I know a long time ago when I very first started my channel, one of my first videos was how to make a yacht. And so I've gotten a lot better at making yachts in my opinion. Some people might think differently, but hopefully since I've gotten better, I want to show you guys a couple new ways to make a couple yachts with some different colors other than just snow or white wool. So the materials that we're going to use for this yacht, we're going to use clay, gray wool, sandstone slabs, glass panes, and then swiftness. And then as you can see, I already have some of it done, and the only reason of this is because everything is going to be symmetrical on a yacht. In my opinion, everything should be symmetrical. So I already did one side, but I'm still going to show you how to do the other side. So to start it off, what we're going to do is lay down 3 blocks of gray wool just right in the water to where just the top shows. On the end block, you can go any way. You can place one on the end, and then come back 2, do the same thing. And then you can just keep doing this until you have a really wide ship, or you can just make it to where it's perfect. Like right now, I'm just gonna extend it. Then you can go back as far as you want. The way I look at it is, if you have a really wide ship and a really tall ship, you want the ship to be longer, kind of like that one. As you can see, it's a lot longer because that's my cruise ship, my biggest ship that I've ever made. Alright, so we have this done. What we're going to do now is we're going to take out the clay, and what we're going to do is just do this. I don't know how to describe how to do this. It's kind of hard to explain, but all you're doing is you're just placing more clay down. We're going to lay down 4 tall layers of clay. So we have one more layer to go after this. And then if I did want to make the ship wider, I would just continue making the bottom wider and just keep going just like that. Okay, so now this one's done. What we're gonna do now is put on the, after we have the 4th layer done of clay, we're gonna put the gray wool, and this is to finish it off. Alright, so the body of this yacht, it's going to be a gray wool ship basically. So the reason we have the clay at the front is just to give it a little bit more color and texture to it. So now everything here from here on is going to be gray wool. Okay, so what we're going to do is my swiftness ran out, so let's take that, and for some reason I'm invisible. Okay, so again, I don't know how far back I went. You can go back as far as you want, all depends on how much space you have and how big your ship's actually going to be. I didn't go back too far, so it's not going to be an extremely huge ship. Alright, so once we get to the end, we're just going to stack this all the way up to where it's going to go all the way up and even with the gray wool at the very top of the ship that we just placed. So we should have 3 or 2 more layers to go after this, and then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. A lot of the making yachts and stuff like this, it's a lot of repetitiveness just because it is symmetrical, and once you get good at making a ship, you can make them a lot faster. Like me, I can make yachts in maybe 15 minutes depending on how big they are. Alright, let's go to the other side and stack up this wall. And so you can use different materials, you can use whatever you want to make this. I'm just going to use, in my opinion, I love using gray wool for yachts because I think gray wool, especially with clay, if you make it just right, it can absolutely look amazing. And then the sandstone is going to be for the deck. I don't know all the, what to call everything on a boat. So I'm just going to call everything the front and back. Some people might know. I'm sorry if I don't know. I'm just not a huge boat person. Okay, so now this is done. Alright, so that's how big our ship's going to be. Let's go to the back though, because we want to make the back. Because the back's kind of important, because I always want the back of the ship to look nice as well. So we're going to come diagonal, lay down 3, come diagonal again, lay down 2, do the same thing on the other side, 3, 2, and then let's go out another 2, and then we're going to start curving it as so with 1 blocks like these. Whoop, misplaced, and then there we go. So that's what the back of our ship's going to look like. So you might notice that right here it's straight up and down for a wall. What we're going to do is actually make this a stair step, so it should look like this now. That'll make the ship look a little bit better in the long run, especially when it's all done. There we go. Now we have the stair steps. Alright, so we're going to come back to the back of the ship here in a minute. What we're going to do now is lay down kind of like the deck. We're going to use sandstone, and basically what we're going to do is just take out the sandstone and just going to lay it down almost all the way around the ship. Once we get to the sides, the front of the ship's all going to be filled in. Once we get to the sides, I'll explain a little bit more what to do. Oh, misplaced that. I really think the sandstone with the gray looks a lot better than other colors. Alright, so once we get to the sides like this, we're going to lay down 2 blocks of sandstone slabs on the corners, or on the ends, just like this. The rest of it is going to be for like the inside of the ship. We're going to have the sandstone come all the way back to about right here, 2 blocks away from the stair step that we added. Then go back, so we should have a 2 wide little walkway to have. Alright, let's do the same thing on the other side. And then we're going to make sure we're even. Again, the boat will be symmetrical. I think, there we go. One more layer. And then we can start making the inside. Oh, we don't want to make a full block. There we go. Alright, so let's extend this a little bit farther out. Maybe by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, not like that. And fill these in. Okay, now what we're going to do. We're going to take out our gray wool. Let's use clay first. Then we're going to use clay for the top. Or gray for the top. What we're going to do is even with this. As you can see, we still have this big open space in the middle of the ship. This is going to be for the inside. So we're going to lay it down just like this. Now, actually, I'm sorry guys. Let's lay down gray wool first. So gray wool. And then you're going to have the gray wool be even with the end of the ship. As you can see, the gray wool, whoop, I didn't mean to fall down into the water. And the gray wool right here should be even with the gray wool on the outside of the ship. And we're going to go back to where, maybe about right here, 2 blocks away from the end again. Let's do the same thing to the other side. We're looking pretty good so far. Oop, my swiftness just ran out. Okay, so here's where the glass panes come in. Now we're going to lay down the glass panes on top of these, of the gray wool we just added. Then we will connect the gray wool together here in a second, but that will come here in a couple minutes. Alright, so the main floor of the ship is going to be the very bottom, and I'll explain a little bit more for that here in a second. Alright, then on top of the glass panes, we're going to lay down another layer of gray wool. The only reason I'm using, I don't know how to describe this. The reason, like, I could add 2 layers of glass panes, but it looks a little bit too tall. Having it just this height looks amazing in my opinion. If you add more, it just looks a little bit too tall and off. Alright, now let's connect these. As so. Now use the glass panes to connect them. Alright, so how's this looking so far? Alright, we're looking pretty good so far. Let's go sleep because it is nighttime. So let's go get rid of the nighttime. Here's my bed on top of the cruise ship. Then nappy time, nappy time. Alright, now what we're going to do, we're going to use the clay, and we're going to add a layer of sandstone for the roof up here. So just fill all of this in, and then we're going to come back later and then fill in the rest of it, or get rid of some of it, excuse me. So let's fill all of this in. Like I said, later we will come back because we're adding another little area up at the top. So we're going to have 2 areas you can go above deck and then 1 below deck. So we're going to get rid of some of this here in a minute. Suicide on my doors. Bad bitch of the year. Alright, so we're almost done. There we go. Alright, now we're going to do, we're going to take out our clay. And the clay is going to go maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks off the sandstone from the front. And you see it's off the ground. What we're going to do is just place another layer of slabs on top of the other ones. So now it's connected. Alright, we're going to have the clay come back. You might notice that it's not on top of the gray wool. It's diagonal from it. That's what we want. So we're going to have each side be symmetrical. Have it come back to about here. And then what we're going to do is actually have it be on top of the gray wool now. and have it come back to maybe about right here, 3 blocks from the end. Alright, now we're gonna do the same thing. Alright, now let's connect the ends right here. Alright, that actually looks pretty good. Now let's lay down the glass panes for the windows. Alrighty, now we're almost on the we're actually pretty much almost done with the ship already. Once you get good at making a ship, you really get going on them. Once you figure out how to make them from scratch and from memory, you can just fly through them just like that. Alright, so we're almost done. Whoop. Okay, so let's see how this looks. That looks pretty good. Now what we're going to do is lay down sandstone up at the top, even with the clay right here. So if you don't like the clay being on top, what we could always do is have it to where you can have clay on, basically like reverse the colors that we have. So if you want clay on the bottom, then you want gray on the top, you could do that as well. It also looks really good. If we come back up here, as you can see, it actually looks pretty good. It looks a little bit more like a speedboat, which is a good thing in my opinion. Okay, so let's see. We want to make the back of the ship now. So what we're going to do, where we have the stair steps right here, we're going to replace the stair steps with, get rid of the gray and replace it with the clay. So it should look just like this now. Boom, there we go. Alright, so we're still not done. We're going to add another pretty long window on the below deck for the bottom row, but we're going to get to that here in a second. Alright, so let's use sandstone blocks for this one. And then we're just going to fill all of this in right here with the sandstone blocks. So go all the way from one side to the other. I love making boats. They're so much fun to make. If you ever played one of my adventure maps, you would notice that because you can always buy yachts. Okay. Alright, so now that that's filled, we want to make stairs going up to the balcony up here. What we're going to do is we're going to make stairs out of bricks and slabs. So it should come all the way down here. Alright, that's pretty nice. And then let's do the same thing on the other side. And even if you don't like that, just because it goes a little bit farther past here, what we can do is just move the stairs back. So I think we should actually do that instead, just to make it look a little bit better. Let's move the sandstone right next to the slabs to make this go by a little bit faster. Okay, now we can start doing this. Slab. Going by pretty quick now. Oh, my eye itches. Bad time, body. There we go. There we go. Now that's perfect. Alright, let's do the same thing on the other side. Sandstone block, sandstone slab, back to a block, then back to a slab. Again, a lot of repetitiveness when it comes to making boats like these, but in the end, it's all worth it. Alright, so you might notice that we have this big opening right here. What we're going to do is take gray wool out. And then we're just going to make, well, let's not do it like that. Let's start from back here. Then have it come about to this top block on the clay block. And then we're going to turn it. So just like this. Here, hopefully you guys can hear my dog barking in the background. So now it's going to be just like that. Alright, now we're just going to extend the gray wool down. Going all the way down to the water now. So you're going to do this on all the blocks we just got done placing. Boom. I do say boom a lot. I do notice that, guys. But don't try to, it's just something that just comes out. Okay, so now that's done. Now let's make a door right here, and then we're gonna take out the clay, and we're gonna make a little wall right here for the stairs. Another little stair step with the clay. Pretty easy so far, guys. Now the sandstone's going to go right here to fill in these gaps. Fill in one more block. Let's fill in this one. Alright, so this is actually looking really good so far. Alright, so up above, as you can see, we still have this clay little area up here. We're going to make a wing. So to make the wing is actually really easy. You just come to the corner blocks, come back maybe like 3 or 4, and then you're going to come up like this, maybe 2, and then have it just come and connect to the other one. Then there you go, now you have a wing. Alright, so we need to make the little floor in here. So the floor is going to go right underneath the clay, or the gray. I keep getting confused because they rhyme. For the inside, we're just going to use, let's use spruce wood planks for the inside of here. My swiftness keeps running out. Okay, so have this come all the way back. And we're just going to fill all of this in with the spruce wood planks. Before, when I used to make yachts, because I really haven't made too many yachts lately until my most recent adventure map, when I started that one back up. And I've been using a lot more different materials that we have now. So a lot of people try to make ships, and the one thing that can always ruin a ship is the front. If the front doesn't look good, the rest of the ship won't look good. So that's why the front is so important to a ship. Alright, so let's make a doorway coming into here. So we're gonna have the spruce wood planks come back here as well. Man, my dog is going crazy. And then you might notice that we have a little open area back here, which is perfect. That's what we want. We're gonna make a little doorway right here using the gray. Got it right that time. And then what we're gonna do is make 2 more doors, just maybe like right here. To make these kind of doors, because we do have the slabs right here, as you can see, we can't walk out. What you're gonna do is just replace it with a sandstone block which goes underneath it, and then place the wood there. Now you can walk out. Do the same thing around the other side. Spruce wood plank. Let's put gray wool where the glass panes are so we can actually make the doorway. Alright, there we go. Now we can actually get into our ship, which is kind of important. Okay, let's see. What do we want to do now? Let's make the below deck. To make the below deck, we're going to make a window. Well, let's see. First, let's make the floor. The floor is going to go even with the water. And we're going to use the spruce wood planks again, just like we did on the top layer above. And then all you're going to do is just fill in everything underneath the ship. It is kind of dark on the capture screen just because we are in a pretty dark area. Once we add the windows, it will fix a lot of that. We're almost done with the ship, guys. We didn't really make the ship too wide because I really don't like making my yachts too wide, because then if you don't make it, I'm trying to make this pretty easy to understand. If you make it too wide and then you don't make it long enough, it doesn't look right. So I try to make mine look a little bit more skinny, because once you make them so wide, you basically have to get the perfect width or length for the ship, otherwise it doesn't look right, in my opinion. And since I try to be a perfectionist with all the stuff I do, I always try to make my stuff look the best, especially when it comes to making videos for you guys. I don't want to give you guys something that looks ugly. Alright, so we may have maybe 2 or 3 more layers to go of spruce wood planks for the floor. Looking pretty good so far. 3 more layers to go. So how's everybody doing today? My blacks are kind of lagging a little bit, probably because I already have so much stuff on this map just for the cruise ship. At the end of the video, I actually show you guys a map of how big the cruise ship is compared to this, which will be pretty interesting. Because some people will think this yacht's pretty big. This is a bigger yacht that I've made, and you guys will be amazed by the cruise ship, hopefully. Alright, now that we have the floor, what we're going to do is make the windows. So the windows, all you're going to do is 1 block above the ground, or of the floor, you're just going to make a big long window going across the ship. So just like that. Let's make the exact same window on the other side. And see, now it's a little bit brighter in here because we actually have light coming in now. So the window should go all the way over to here. Alright, let's go back outside for a second. Alright, so you might notice that it looks a little bit better with the window down there. What we're going to do is actually get rid of the gray wool right next to the window. And what we're going to do is actually have it connect with the clay in the front and the back. That's why we added that. And then one block of clay is going to go above the window just like that. Alright, let's actually move this window back a little bit. It's a little bit too far forward. Alright, now we're going to replace it with clay. Connecting it all the way over to here to the front. And then one block above. There we go. Now it has a little bit more color to it. Let's do the same thing on the other side. I have the hiccups. Alright, so clay. Again, making a yacht's actually pretty easy once you get the concept down. Alright, now let's put the glass panes in. Glass panes, filling. There we go. Let's go to the other side and fill these in. Okay, we are done with basically everything in the ship is done. We actually need to go on the inside and replace the sandstone floor right up here with the spruce wood planks because we don't have unmatching pieces. So we're just gonna get rid of all the sandstone slabs that are in the inside of the upstairs. Make sure you don't get rid of the ones underneath like the clay blocks or anything. Okay, we're flying through this. Sandstone slab should go here. Alright, now it's time for the spruce wood planks. Let's take some more swiftness to make this go by a little bit faster. Alright, almost done. The yacht is almost done, guys. I'm going to leave the inside to you because there are several things you can do at the inside. Usually on the top floors, I usually add just like sofas and stuff like that. On the bottom is where I really add like the kitchen and area, like the kitchen area, my bedroom and stuff like that. Okay, now that's done. Let's make a stairway that goes up to here so we can actually get up to the second area. So for that, let's use sandstone, or not sandstone, just regular stone slabs. And then go into the middle of the room and then start making the stairs using the slabs. As so. Let's get rid of some of the spruce wood planks that we added here. There we go. Now we have our stairs. And then around it, let's put the clay to cover up the stairs themselves. Just like this. Alright, now let's put some torches around to light this place up a little bit. Again, like on these small floors like these, I would suggest putting like just sofas or maybe like even a chest room so you can store some stuff. Let's put some doors in here. And then on the bottom floor, like the bigger floor that has 3 blocks of headroom, not 2, that's where you can put like your kitchen and stuff like that. Alright, so to finish off the yacht, what we're going to do is we're going to actually place a piece of gray wool right here. And then right here, we're going to take out our glass panes. Then on the edge of the yacht, we're going to place the glass panes for a railing because it is pretty easy to walk off since we have slabs for the corners. We want to place some gray wool here so we can actually continue the glass panes going all the way around. That's something I always really almost forget to do. There we go. Now just keep the glass panes going all the way around. Oh, misplaced a glass pane there. Then we're going to have it come all the way back. Almost done. Alright, we're gonna have the glass panes come down the gray wool, or not the gray wool, the clay. And then we're gonna have another railing right here. Let's actually add one more block of gray there, so we can add the glass panes without covering up the stairs. Okay, we're doing some work on the house, so if you guys hear that. One more gray wool there. Alright, so there you go, guys. There's your yacht. Hopefully you guys liked it. It's actually a pretty nice yacht in my opinion. It's definitely one of my favorite color schemes to use for a yacht. So I did show you, I would show you guys a map of the cruise ship. So if we load in this one on the map, you can see how big it is compared to the main cruise ship, which is 800 blocks long. Alright, so hopefully you guys liked the video. Please rate and subscribe and stay tuned.